Oh man, I hate Mondays.
Nah, man, it's Tuesday.
Wait. What day is it?
You know what day it is? Tuesday. Brewsday, Tuesday.
Oh, fuck yeah. It's Brews Day Tuesday time. Here is Huck and Big Nate.
Aloha, ladies and gentlemen. Brewsday Tuesday. Of course, as I've been telling you, I threw DreZ the hell out of the studio, threw him the hell out of the country,
See
and
you, DreZ.
bye, DreZ.
Bye.
I brought in someone who's going to let me drink beer on the radio.
Hey,
Huck,
Huck.
the man, the myth, the legend, back in the studio with us. He kind enough to bring beer. So, first off, Huck, how have you been?
I've been good. I've been much better. We're at the you know, Groundhog Day was the 2-year anniversary of my illness. Now I'm just handicapped, but I don't, I find if you drink a
Handy
lot,
capable.
yeah, if you drink a lot, you don't even notice. So take that as advice from the huckster. So I like yeah, this is I like drinking during the week. And I like drinking on the weekends. You know what? I like drinking. So yeah, I'm gotten off prednisone. I had some heart surgery, I think, since I was in here. Had COVID again, but I took the Paxlovid and I was fine. Also had pneumonia. But now I'm getting better and I feel it.
Well, I'm glad you're getting better. Paxlovid, I do want to take a second and talk about how phenomenal that is, because the second time I had COVID, they finally had Paxlovid out, and like it just mitigated so much. I think if I didn't have the Paxlovid, I may have just absolutely given up on living.
Well, I woke up on Sunday morning a couple months ago and worst case scenario, I'm like, I've got the COVID. So I called my doctor. Fortunately, I have a doctor who I have his cell phone. And I said, dude, I think I have COVID. He goes, well, go make sure. I'm like, okay. So I ran up and got a test, and sure enough. So he prescribed it by 1 o'clock Sunday afternoon. I took my first dose. And by noon on Tuesday, I was well.
Yeah, it mitigates so much. I think that's fantastic. But of course, we are here to celebrate, not talk about having COVID a bunch of times. We're celebrating you still being here after everything, and
Yeah, and I did kind of theme the show
I,
on my life. And
I noticed that.
the
You should
first
start.
beer is Hell's. It's a the brewery, which is an excellent brewery, and it's a Hell's Lager, which I didn't have to go.
I'm not certain you'd go there, but
But in any case, I didn't. I avoided that, so that's why I brought this beer. Plus, it's an excellent style of beer. If you haven't tried it, it's European. It's yum yum.
Hells are one of those. I feel like they're underrated and underappreciated. Not a
And
lot of,
nobody makes them in America. Very few
and
people.
I feel like they're not hard to make in
No,
comparison to some of their, like they're a pretty basic flavor, but when they're done well, they're so good.
and I'm sure that this is, it says it's a lager, but then you look at it and you taste it, and it's not lager yeast, and that's okay. It's made more of a ale style, but I mean that's what we do in America. We're not tied to any rules. We make our
Damn
beer in the
straight.
way we like it.
Damn straight. So you handed me the Amagong Dream Patch fruited sour.
That's because you're a fruited sour. No, it's
All
because
right. I'm sour.
when I was unconscious, I had some dreams, and we could get into some
We
of them.
should get into them.
Some
What the
of them were
hell?
amazing. A lot of them were silly, but yeah, it was a dream city.
I,
They had me drugged up, and I
I
mean, that's all I could do. I was all inside.
I do want to talk about your dreams, but first I want to talk about it's a fruited sour with cherry, blueberry, and raspberry, 6.5% ABV. This cherry berry fruited sour is here to stay. Proof that dreams do come true. Bright cherries, tart raspberries, and sweet blueberries balance out the assertive sour nature of this beer. Pours rosy red, which if you're watching on the video, you can see that
That's pretty
beautiful
rosy red.
rosy red color, and light spritzy body and subtle bitterness brewed with the sour gurus of Belgium, Leafmans. So, very excited to. This is of course a partnership. Very excited to try this one, but I do want to talk about. Um, I mean, that was I don't remember the total runtime of your nap.
40 days.
40 days.
40 days. And so the thing was, is that afterwards, for the next 30 days, I was in, they had me in and teach me to be myself again because after 40 days, you can't walk, you can't talk, you can't eat, you can hardly breathe. So they teach you all that. But then, and I would like one day during that period, I accused two of the orderlies of kidnapping me and taking me to an industrial site and torturing me with needles. But apparently that was just the nurses. But the dreams after I
The
finally
orderlies weren't involved.
they were, well, they might have been, but they didn't get to give me shots. But when I finally got clear, like a couple months later, I can go back. It's like, I finally sat down. I said, okay, here, I went there, and that I only had a month and a half. There's no way I did all that in a month and a half. So it had to be not true. And once I accepted that fact, it's like I had this dream that the Navy SEALs had me in a tent and they would move me around from time to time. And they let me out of the tent and they put me in the tent. And every time I'd call for the police, they'd be outside the tent and they go, he's all right, he'll be fine. And they would sedate me. And I said to my wife afterwards, I said, did they tie me up? She goes, yeah, they had to. You kept ripping those tubes out. You weren't happy at all being there all tubed up. I said, okay. So that was the Navy SEALs.
So the subconscious was assigning
It was
its own reality.
It was, and it was
interesting that yours.
I've written a lot of these down. I want to do
place in a war zone.
stories about them. Yeah. Well, on the other hand, a lot of it was like I was at a castle, and I think that's the hospital hall kind of looks, because you get down the hall and there's all the windows. It's intensive care, and all the every room has a big window, so it's almost like you're on the battlement of a castle. And so they were always riding me around, taking me for more tests and stuff. So it was pretty wild, I have to say. It was an experience. My whole life I was never really sick. So, what the heck? I got it all done.
Got it all done in 40 days.
Done. I'm moving on now.
Yeah, I mean that's absolutely wild to me that the human brain's such a powerful thing that it knows there's those gaps and it feels the need to kind of keep you aware of what's going on. So it just makes this like.
Well,
and a lot of it's probably based on stuff in your subconscious. Did you have a run-in with some Navy SEALs at some point?
No,
like that was your
I
association?
party with them. No, I remember one time. One of them was, and people asked me, "Well, did you see the light at the end of the tunnel?" And kind of I did, but it's weird. It's like I was traveling across the country in my mind, and everywhere I would go, I would reach up and like act like I was pulling something, and it was like an ambulance would come with a medic. Well, actually, it was just my nurse coming by and goes, and they'd always go, Mr. Bowles, I need to check your vitals. And I was like, okay. And so I was doing that and I got tired of it. I kept saying, you don't have to come every time I do that. I'm not really that bad off. And they're like, oh, we do just, but it wasn't them. It was like other people. So one time I'm in the woods and I'm like, I got to go to the bathroom. So that we stop at a rest area. And this is somewhere I think in my brain, Idaho, maybe, or no, south of there. I don't know. Somewhere in the woods, and there's pine trees, big, tall, and dark. And I look up and there's a lighted booth. So I head for the booth, and it's like the admission to the bathrooms. And in the booth is a crystal Bigfoot Yeti. And he's got his hand out. And so I put something in his hand, and whatever it was wrong. And a ranger, big, tall ranger shows up. And we have a conversation, and, after that, I think I got to go to the bathroom. I don't remember. But that's the only thing that was like a light at the end of the tunnel that I saw was a crystal
Yeti at a rest stop.
And no one has ever made a picture of one because I searched. I made some on AI. None of them were exactly what I saw, but it's getting there.
We're getting there. AI's got to learn.
It's got to learn. I'm working on it. I need a different AI, maybe.
I mean, it would also be intriguing to kind of have a timeline. And obviously, this is not something that would be possible or is possible currently at this time, but a timeline of what was going on around you.
Yeah.
Out here in the lucid world versus.
Well, amazingly, a lot of times I'd be like at McAdoo's and I'd be sitting in a bar stool at a tall table and I'd want to sleep there. And one time I just remember I was there and somebody came in, waitress was mad, of course, because she couldn't get a tip if I'm just sitting there sleeping. But the manager came up and said, oh, that's Huck. He does a lot of good things for us. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know that I do that, but fair enough. I'll sleep here.
You have positive credit in the
in my brain,
in the dream world.
Yeah, and McAdoo's. I do love McAdoo's.
That's the most important thing is your own self view.
Right.
It sounds like it was pretty positive. I mean, you're lucky that you've got such a broad experience of travel and things you've done in your life. Can you imagine if you'd basically just
lived in one place,
stayed in one place all the time, like how boring they'd get? Oh, damn it, I'm at the mall again.
Yeah, I traveled a lot. Traveled a lot in my dreams, definitely. I mean, I was all over the place. But anyway, I digress a little. But yeah, it's really great that 2 years out. I mean, I'm still on a little bit of oxygen, but I'm pretty healthy. I'm kind of gotten lazy. I need to start walking and working out a little bit.
I'm gonna blame the weather for that.
Yeah, it's been pretty cold.
We've not had great weather.
I might have to blame Tears of the Kingdom. I did
Oh,
get that
I
game
did see that you're playing Tears of the Kingdom now, and
after Christmas. Yeah, it's frustrating for the first month or so, but now I've got,
now
I can merge weapons with monster parts.
Did-
Yeah, you can kill some stuff like that.
oh, you absolutely can. Did you play Breath of the Wild?
No, but everybody's like, you should have played that first. I don't know.
It's fine. The story is self-contained enough that, and they give you enough data that you can.
I did buy a used
Go
copy
between
of
the
that,
two.
so I may throw it in later.
But I liked Breath of the Wild. It's one of my all-time favorite games. But going to Tears of the Kingdom, it was one of those things where they kind of so much and reinvented the wheel
Right.
again that oh no, I love that game. I spent well over 100 hours playing it, and my wife's still not thrilled.
I don't know. I have to look and see where I'm at, but yeah,
My
I got a lot out.
I mean, that's always been one of my favorite series, anyways. The Legend of Zelda games. Just
Well, that's why I bought a Switch just to play original Zelda.
Yep.
And I got about halfway through and it got kind of hard. And they gave me a free ticket with the Switch to buy a game. So I said, well, I'll just buy the latest and greatest. And I haven't gone back to finish the old one.
No, that's a solid choice. It's amazing. You've kind of got a full world there, which I think is something that definitely makes sense that it would appeal to you. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of
you have
fun.
to keep me updated on your progress.
Yeah, I just run around and look for stuff. And, I cheat a little. You go online, you can find anything
Oh,
online.
yeah. Sometimes you have to. I mean, cheating is using a map if you really think about it.
Yeah, and some of these shrines, you just can't find unless you ask somebody where they are. I'm standing over it, right? At this
Yeah.
nice hot spring that heals me, but I can't find it. It's down under the earth. Actually, that's where I'm at right now. I just entered that cave and I quit last night. I said I'm gonna put a lid on at 10, but it was 12:05 last night.
Where did the time go?
I know.
Were you drinking while you did it?
Of course. But the thing is, I might have a glass of beer and I'll be playing real hard. And by the time I look back at, something happens, they got to show me a movie. My beer's warm because I haven't been drinking it. So I drink less.
I see. I've had it go both ways with that game, though. I've drank while playing it and had the beer is warm scenario, but I've also had the drink while playing it and then realize, oh hell, I probably shouldn't be drinking this bourbon while I'm playing this, and then the next day have to go back and be like, what the hell did I do last night?
Yeah, well, sometimes we'll go out and I'll come home and play where I've already had
Yeah,
a few.
and it's like, what? No.
Yeah, what did I do? Where are all my things? I had a lot of things.
Where did they all go? Was there? Nope, I didn't accomplish anything. Somehow I've got like way less rupees than I had before.
Well, the main thing, I'll throw it out there, arrows and bombs. If you have a chance to buy either of those, buy them. You'll never have enough.
No.
Ever.
And that was never a problem in Breath of the Wild.
No.
There was always an abundance of arrows because I'm someone who I try and strategically save as I go through the game.
Right.
And even with Tears of the Kingdom, going through the base story, you do need to buy them. Pro tip out there. I bet you never thought you'd be getting a
pro tip on that.
Zelda tip from Huck, but
there you go. There's your pro tip.
Buy your arrows and bombs as you can.
But the other piece of news is, I was using the arrows to fight everybody because I didn't want to get close. They kill me. But now I got these power swords with things attached. Yeah, one stroke and you're gone.
Oh yeah. Once you discover some of those things you can merge with the sword, there are some that are just absolutely brutal.
Yes.
Well,
if you like Death and Destruction, it's a great game.
It's so much fun.
But it's still got a love story. There's Zelda.
It's such a good
Zelda wants you to save her.
I don't know how far you've gotten, but it's
pretty far.
It's a fun ride.
Pretty far.
That's my all-time favorite game series. It's the only one that I actually actively I've played every game in the series except for one of them, and I don't feel too bad because it was a weird 2D platformer.
I skipped them all. Went from
Legend
the beginning to the end. But yeah, I'm working on shrines mostly right now.
All right. Well, I've got
to build my hearts up.
As you go through Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, I've got a few others on the Switch that I can hook you up with. And
that'd be good. Fair enough.
All right. So we should probably get back to the beer.
Okay. So this one I didn't say is 5.2, and this is the brewery. So they're not going to say, "Oh, our beer is this and that," because
yeah,
for a fact. And I was complaining 5 years ago when they changed brewers, but I will say the new brewer is just as good as old brewer. sometimes the culture is there and the beer is always going to be good. And I think the brewery is an example of that. We'll have one next session, the same thing, Three Floyds. So, the brewery is just the classic California brewery that makes great beer, always has.
No,
It's a 5. I'm just gonna go right in.
all right. Well, he's on Untapped as Huck's Beer Buzz.
I am.
I'm on Untapped as Big Nate Danger. And I mean, before we took air, Huck handed this one to me and said, you got to take this because you like the sours. And I do. That is a fact. This, I mean, Omagong's not a bad brewery by any stretch of the imagination. They kind of know what they're doing. And I think they take that Belgian tradition of brewing very seriously. I just noticed that this is from the OMG series, which I think is just absolutely hilarious. It's not a 5.
Of course not. It's a sour.
It's damn close though. I'm gonna give it the 4.75.
There you go. There you go.
It's solid. I'd recommend it. If you like sours, you're not gonna go wrong with a Dream Patch from Omagong.
No, and they're a great brewery.
All right, so now comes the time.
What's the time?
What were you listening to while you were dreaming?
Oh, well, apparently I was listening to a lot of Grateful Dead.
All right.
And there's a specific song that you probably don't have it.
Well,
Franklin's Tower.
oh, we can get it.
You can get it.
All right.
That's the song.
A little Grateful Dead, and we'll be back with some more Brewsday Tuesday right here on 105.3 The Bear.